So the video you're about to watch, I was recording, and the second I finished recording, I looked at Twitter, and it was officially confirmed that the State of Play is happening tomorrow. And a lot of the video, we're kind of going through and speculating about the State of Play, which all of that still remains relevant. It's still, fun to speculate about the State of Play because we have no idea what is going to take place at the State of Play until tomorrow. But yeah, I was speculating about the State of Play, speculating about when the State of Play would happen because Jeff Grubb tweeted out today that it would happen sometime this week. So we're talking about that in the video you're about to watch, but everything in the video still makes a good deal of sense. So just keep in mind, in the video when I'm talking about the State of Play happening sometime this week, it is indeed happening tomorrow, which is sometime this week. But it is happening tomorrow, and that's exciting, man. Exciting just to get, of course I wish it was a showcase, but exciting to get some PlayStation news, and then we'll go into a little bit of speculation about all of that. And I'll link my full predictions video down below so that you can check that out as well. But yeah, big PlayStation news. Big PlayStation news over the last couple days. Alright, my people, it is Rumor Day here today on the channel. We got quite a few rumors to go over to discuss. Most of them, well, really all of them, are related to PlayStation in some way, shape, or form. So once again, another pretty big PlayStation news day here today that we will be going over. And, of course, it's going to have to kick off with the State of Play rumors. They've been circulating all month, and Jeff Grubb tweeted out that the State of Play will definitely be happening this week. The rumors were that it was going to be happening on the 24th, unless that is announced today, because today is the 23rd, and usually they do announce the State of Play and then the next day they announce the State of Play for the following day. So it's not out of the question that it could be announced today and then we get the State of Play tomorrow. But I would assume that the State of Play will be later on in the week. But Grubb is a pretty damn reliable insider on this. It's also worth pointing out, it's kind of a bummer, but you see here, someone asked Jeff Grubb, Pio asked Jeff Grubb, if, you can expect any first-party announcements at the show, if it's just going to be all third-party stuff. And he's like, yeah, I wouldn't expect much. He's like, I don't know all the details, but I wouldn't expect much here for first-party announcements. And I don't know, it just kind of bums me out how it's been so long since we've got a good showcase that everybody is just clinging on to some hope that we get some big first-party reveals, because we just have no idea what these first-party teams are working on. And with the recent state of affairs of your Concords and your, just canceling factions and just closing down studios, and it just seems like there's a lot of negativity in first-party land. And I understand why people are like, man, can we get some first-party games revealed to have some sort of idea of what we're working with here? But State of Plays have never been, that's never been the venue for big first-party announcements. So I definitely would lean towards being on the side of the fence to expect very little, if anything at all, for first-party announcements. I did a full predictions video for the State of Play. I'll link it down below so you can go check it out. But at best, I would say maybe something from like Housemarque, if PlayStation's still allowing them to work on smaller projects, which even, Returnal's not really a smaller project. And I wouldn't be surprised if they went back to that well in some way. But of course, you're not getting Ghost 2 here. You're not getting Wolverine gameplay here. You're not getting Naughty Dog new IP, or Last of Us 3, or Santa Monica new IP, or God of War, whatever you want to call it, I guess, 3 of the reboot. I could definitely see some Spider-Man 2 DLC. I could maybe even see that Venom game getting announced. I think that would be a great one last thing reveal to get people hyped, even though most hardcore PlayStation fans, or just most hardcore people who are watching a show like this, like, y'all already know that Venom game is in the works. It was in the leak, and so maybe it wouldn't generate as much excitement as it would have if the leaks did not take place, which is a total bummer. But that's just kind of the reality that we are existing in. Weird times in PlayStation land in terms of the first party slate. But yeah, I had a comment a while back where someone was like, I wonder if PlayStation is trying to do away with the showcase branding and just lean more on state of plays, which I don't think that's the case. I do think we'll see showcases again, but I could understand to some degree, like, it's a lot of pressure to have that name showcase and then have us expecting those E3 of Dreams 2015, 2016, 2017, that run of those 3 years for PlayStation were some of the greatest showcases of all time. And then when you have Xbox trotting out their showcases every year, and they've built up a Monstars lineup over the past few years with the acquisitions, it's like, in comparison, yeah, it might not be as exciting. And if you are doubling and tripling and quadrupling down on live service games, then yeah, these showcases, when they're packed full of fair games and Concords and games of that ilk that the hardcore fan base isn't really all that interested in, and then they see that showcase branding next to your big reveal event, it's gonna kind of lean more negative in terms of the overall reception, I would assume. So yeah, I don't think it's totally out of the question that PlayStation tries to step away from the showcase branding to some degree. I don't think that'll be the case, but that's the only situation wherein I could see a Ghost of Tsushima 2 popping up at a State of Play, a Wolverine gameplay reveal popping up at a State of Play. Otherwise, those things will always be reserved for showcases. But staying right there, in terms of exciting things that could possibly pop up at this State of Play, there is rumor circulating right now that Resident Evil 9 will be announced at this State of Play. This is coming from an account called Ignis the Wise, who recently accurately reported that the PlayStation 5 Pro announcement would happen separate from a State of Play, that the PS5 Pro announcement would happen first, and that a State of Play would follow it, which that he 100% predicted that correctly. But to be fair, he got the date wrong on the State of Play. He predicted that it would be the 19th or the 20th for the State of Play. But going back again, to be fair to him, Jeff Grubb and other reliable insiders in the past have gotten these dates wrong for, big events as well. So it seems like a lot of these State of Plays and just different Nintendo Directs, this, that, and the other, when they're not E3 style live press conferences, I think there's just more fluidity with how you, when you launch that, when you actually debut this event, because you're not having to, set up at some theater and have all your presenters lined up for this live format. Pretty much just getting a video that we're watching in live time on our YouTube feeds. But it's not like those dates necessarily have to be locked in stone. But yeah, the rumor right now is that RE9 will get a teaser trailer at the upcoming State of Play, and that the game is imminent, saying that, the release is right around the corner. I'm a little bit unsure about all of this, because I remember Dusk Golem, who, once again, has made some accurate predictions in the past, and he's missed the mark a few times in the past. But he was talking about how RE9 was Capcom's most ambitious project, and I if I'm not mistaken, I think he said it was still a little ways off. But once again, I am not an insider on any of this shit. I take all of this with a grain of salt. But we did see the RE4 reveal at a State of Play a while back. We saw that Street Fighter 6 reveal at a State of Play a while back. So Capcom is not, they're not anti-State of Play, and they're willing to reveal their big heavy hitters at State of Plays. So an RE9 at a State of Play, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility whatsoever. I would tend to believe that it would be a RE0 or a Code Veronica first, but once again, I don't have any inside knowledge into any of this. Just speculating, talking shit here with you all on the internet. It's also rumored that Jill and Leon will be the two main protagonists for RE9, which I love to hear that. I really, really do hope that's the case, because they've never, lined up in games before. They've never met in games before. And I don't think, unless I haven't finished that Netflix animated series, but unless they link up in that show, I don't think they've ever met in any Resident Evil media at all, if I'm not mistaken. So Leon, Jill linking up for RE9 would be excellent, especially if there was like some sort of swappable protagonist. You could play as both of them, kind of a Leon and Claire situation for RE2, have some separate paths, some different things you could see with each character depending on the route you take. But yeah, I mean, there were rumors that RE9 was going to be like open world, and I remember even talk of like building off of Dragon's Dogma 2's tech, and yeah, so I'm very, very, if it is Resident Evil 9 and a lot of those rumors line up, I'm very excited to see what this is, because that is a very different sounding Resident Evil game. I don't know if I necessarily want an open world Resident Evil game, but I am morbidly curious to see how they would tackle that. And you can kind of look at like RE4. That's pretty damn open in a lot of instances, but supposedly it's going to be even much more open than that. But speaking of rumors, in this very rumor-driven show today, Rocksteady is reportedly working on a new Batman game. This is coming from Insider Gaming. Rocksteady Studios could be returning to the Batman franchise in a more traditional sense. According to leaker and rumor monger Shepsel Nick, he understands that Rocksteady is, in fact, working on a new Batman game. On top of that, he thinks Sony is trying to make a play for exclusivity in some way. Not sure which studio people's dream is, but I heard Rocksteady are back making it, he said in a response to a tweet asking for fans' dream developers on the next Batman game. He also said, I think Sony are trying to money hat it. LOL. No other information about what a new Batman game from Rocksteady would entail. The main question is, would it be similar to the Batman games of the past, a single-player game, or would they try to go the live service route due to parent company Warner Bros. Games being determined to keep making them? So that is indeed the question. Once again, take all these rumors with a grain of salt. I think if Warner Brothers was smart, this would definitely be the move, and it would definitely be the move to go back to a more Arkham single-player style of Batman game. Let this studio do what they were created to do. Let this studio do what they are known for doing. But, I also think it would be great to, let's go with Batman Beyond. Let's see something that is so distinct from a visual standpoint that you don't necessarily have to draw those immediate comparisons to the Arkham games. Of course, they'll be there. Of course, the combat will still flow with that counter-based, that nice flow state that Rocksteady is known for with the Arkham games. Of course, that'll still be there. But, there's a distinct tonal difference with Batman Beyond. And just, from how the character looks and everything. They could create something that was very different looking at surface level from the Arkham games, and I think that that would probably benefit the studio a lot to separate from that and create something that they're still excellent at crafting, but having a little bit of a different spin on it, having a little bit of some spice thrown in there. But I don't think that a Batman game will be exclusive to PlayStation. Maybe some, how they did with Hogwarts Legacy, where they got a level or two that was exclusive to PlayStation. Like if you pre-ordered the PlayStation version, you got some certain level that you couldn't access on PC or Xbox. I could see PlayStation doing some shit like that, but I seriously doubt that the next big Batman single-player Rocksteady developed title will be in any way, shape, or form PlayStation exclusive, rather it be timed exclusive or anything like that. The absolute most I could see is something like we talked about with Hogwarts, where you get a level or two that is exclusive to the PlayStation version. Don't get me wrong, I think it would be a brilliant move if PlayStation or Xbox went and got this thing exclusive. The next big Batman game, getting it exclusive to your system, I mean, that's an immediate system seller. And regardless of what anybody on the internet tells you, you gotta have exclusive content to make your system, to make your console valuable. That's what's gonna get people in the door, and that would definitely be a game that gets people in the door. But once again, do I think it's gonna happen? No, not in any way, shape, or form do I think that the next big Batman game will be exclusive to any console at all. But I am very, very excited to just even have the slightest sliver of hope that Rocksteady is back working on a Batman game. And to Insider Gaming's credit for pointing it out, the question remains, is it going to be live service Suicide Squad slop, or is it going to be, the pinnacle, the greatness that they achieved with the Arkham series? Which lane is it going to lean into? That all remains to be seen. It all remains to be seen if this game is even a real thing. It all remains to be seen if Resident Evil 9 will actually be revealed. Or we know Resident Evil 9 is a real thing, but it remains to be seen if that's going to get revealed at a State of Play. It remains to be seen if a State of Play is even going to happen this week. I do believe the State of Play is going to happen this week. But yeah, fun rumor day here for you all. Appreciate you tuning in. That is my unnecessary ramble of the day, and I shall see you good people very soon. Subscribe if you are new, give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and yeah, take it easy, my good people. Goodbye.